Hi parents, my name is Mr. Fergal. I'm assistant head for secondary school in GEMS Founders. I'm going to be talking today about attendance, about reward points and also uniform as well. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can see and I'll take you to. Thank you very much for joining today and for listening in. Just share my screen here now so everyone can see. Okay. So today's webinar is going to focus on uniform attendance and rewards points. As you see down the bottom there, my name is Mr. Fergal, and you have my email address there. Firstly, I'd like to thank all parents for the extremely positive attitudes they've had in this term when regards helping the staff and students with uniform, with coming to school on time, and rewarding students. That's what really we want to focus on today, is the excellent effort students are making and the positive points they're making in school and how we reward them and how we reward them as well. Okay, so I'll just take you through the slide. The first few slides on uniform, then we talk about attendance and lateness, and then finish with reward points. So when talking about uniform, we know that many parents have had issues with treads, not having sizing in stock, and some of the sizes are out of stock, and we really thanks for the support in getting the uniform and getting white shirts, the ties and the pants as well. What we really want to focus on now is how the students wear the uniform, be it coming into the school in the morning and when they leave the school at the end of the day, because how they conduct themselves in school and at home wearing the uniform reflects on the community and reflects on everyone as well. So it's important they always wear the uniform properly as well. So uniform must be worn correctly as per the guidelines outlined in the policy. The policy has been sent out already. If anyone hasn't received the policy, please email me and I'm happy to send it for the new uniform policy. In school premises in term time and outside the school timings for any official school events, unless instructed differently by the staff member leading the event. Example, like a musical or play or dance. Full and correct uniform must be worn in school and whilst travelling to and from school, including on arrival at school, when travelling home from the school gate, when exiting the play areas at the end of break or lunchtime, and this also applies after school and travelling home after activities and all. Otherwise, the parent teacher carries on in the parent teacher. Sorry, no. Just need to reshare my screen. Yeah, so also full uniform must be worn at all parent-teacher consultations and other formal school events. Okay. Pullovers are optional, but when not being worn, they should be tied around the waist. Okay. Ties are worn year-round and should be tied and worn covering the fastened top button. So that's very important that students have the button all the way up to the top and their ties on. Girls should also wear the scarf and have the scarf tied as well. Shoes should have no coloured solos or logos, and shoes should be polished regularly. Okay, so make sure that you're coming to the school presentable, and the appearance is a big part. Okay, trainers are not permitted unless it's the day where students have PE. When students have PE, any coloured trainers or any type of trainers are permitted in the school, as long as they don't have studs or blades. The trainers, running shoes, they're all acceptable. So any types of sports shoes, even if they're fully black, are unacceptable. So we see some students wearing Air Max, Nike Air Max, all blacked out, different types of Vans shoes as well, black as well. They need to be different types of shoes, and I'll show you in my next slide which type of shoes are acceptable. Please don't purchase these shoes because they'll prohibit your child from being in the lessons, okay? This isn't happening until we're fully aware that all parents are aware of the uniform policy and have gone through it, okay? Shorts, blouses should be worn appropriate side, not too large, and all student shirts should be properly tucked in at the waist at times. This is coming in the morning. Please make sure the students or your kids are presentable, and at the evenings when they're going home, that they're not untucking their shirt and taking off their tie as they're coming out of the door, that they should be presentable until they get into the car. Ties and scarves are compulsory for all male students in secondary school. Scarves are compulsory for all female students in the secondary school, and they have to be worn around the blouse. And please refer to the uniform guide by Treds. Treds will have full stocking of uniform by after midterm in February. So by the end of February, all stock should be there fully out. Shoes. So we're facing a few issues. We're very, very happy with the support we've got from parents, and in particular wearing the correct uniform and having the correct uniform attire. But we also want to just focus on the shoes and making sure that the acceptable shoes on the top are the ones being worn and not the ones at the bottom, which we still continue to see with some students. So students should be black leather or fake leather or faux leather, as it's called. Shoes should not have coloured solos or logos. Shoes should be polished regularly, as we said, keep them clean and presentable. Trainers are not permitted unless it's a day where a student has PE. Even if a student has an extracurricular club or they have a sport outside of school, they should bring a change of clothes, and then they can use that for the training or at lunchtime or break where they can be able to get changed. Okay. Any types of sports shoes, even if they're fully black, as we said, are unacceptable. And just to move on, just please have a good look at the picture and make sure these don't match with the shoes that your child has. Okay, just with jewelry and watches, female students are only permitted to wear one small stud earring and earlobe only, and these should be removed for PE. The school takes no responsibility for any lost jewelry, so it's better they don't bring it in, please, to be honest. Jewelry items of religious significance may only be worn with prior approval from head of year. So you need to talk to the head of year, depending on what year you're on, and to me as well, and Mr. Causer. So following written warning, parents request it must be discreet and not worn outside the uniform for health and safety purposes. So students may wear a watch, however, watches, very important, they can't wear smart watches when doing formal exams, GCSEs, end of year exams. No visible body modifications such as tattoos and body piercings are allowed. Makeup. No makeup is to be worn by any students. So any girls in secondary shouldn't be wearing any makeup. Nail polish, acrylic or artificial nails are not permitted as well as gems. Okay. So hairstyles. Short hair, no shorter than the number 2. Barber cut for boys is acceptable. Shaved heads are not allowed unless for medical or religious reasons. No coloured gel, wax or mousse to be used when styling your hair, and that's quite important, okay, because we see with some girls in the school, they dye the hair color blue or pink or different colors. It's very important that they must keep their natural hairstyle color, please. Long hair, sensible use of hair accessory acceptable as long as they're plain and of matching school color, and they must keep the hair orderly, neat and tied up in a band, a scrunchie. Hair must be of natural color, as we said. It can't be bright or unnatural colors, and if any students come in with this hairstyle, they will be told to change it immediately as it's not acceptable. Okay, so this is just looking at the escalation policy. So this will be starting from after midterm once all students stocked in once all the uniform is fully stocked in treads, and parents have, because I know parents have made massive to go to treads and been very disappointed by not having the having the right stock in place. Okay, so step 1, form teachers quietly and calmly discuss how the student's incorrect uniform and needs to be rectified. That'll be recorded then and go for schools, and the head of year will be noticed. Then the step 2, the parent, yourselves, will be issued a warning email over non-compliance. That's if a student keeps not wearing the proper uniform. If the student still doesn't do it after step 3, it'll be referred to head of year with a supervised lunchtime detention, and a first warning letter issued to the student and parent and a copy sent to KHDA. If still non-compliant, if the student still doesn't wear the correct uniform, he'll be held out of lessons until parents come to the school to discuss the issue with head of year and assistant head teacher. A second warning issue will be issued to student, parent and sent a copy to the KHD. And step 5, if non-compliant, parent to meet with head of secondary and the student's promotion to be blocked at end of year, and parents to be advised to transfer to another school. Third warning letter issued to student, parent and a copy sent to KHDA. This is just the escalation process, guys. This won't come to effect because most students and most parents will have, or all parents will have, after they receive the first phone call and email, they will make the effort to change the uniform and make sure the students are wearing the correct uniform for school. Okay. Just looking at lateness and attendance. Attendance is a massive part of school, and students need to be in school every day. They shouldn't be missing any days unless obviously they're close contact or contact COVID as well, which they can then contact the head of year and form teacher. Other than that, students should be in school every day and they need to be logged in for attendance. If they happen to be online, they need to be online for the formal times, form in the morning and form in the midday to be marked in. Otherwise, they'll be marked as absent. Just for students coming to school, they need to be in the form for 7:40. Students will be marked late if they missed the form briefing in person or online, and students So after 7:45, students will be officially down as late, unless the bus is late after this time due to complications with traffic. If parents have an issue with traffic and they really are going to be late, they need to let the form teacher know, so they can email ahead and say, sorry, there was an issue this morning. I won't be there until 8 o'clock or after 8 o'clock. Please can. So we're just notified of where the child is, so we know where the students are at all times. Okay, so the register completion time deadline is 7:40 to 8. Any students with attendance that is quite low, below 94, that haven't been ill and haven't been sick, they'll be getting contacted by heads of year and form tutors to make sure that students are not missing school for any reasons. Okay, if there's genuine reasons, there are always genuine reasons, but it's just to check up with the parents. The students attend school every day, because this does affect their learning and how they will do in their exams and how they do overall. It's very important that students are in school every day. When we look at rewards, we've started using a program called Go for Schools. This attracts attendance, it attracts behavior points and positive points. So before, the old way was gem stickers and students be rewarding house points. They're still being rewarded house points, but this has changed to the Go for Schools platform, and we've had massive improvements with students making massive efforts in class and then being rewarded for their house points. As we can see in the top layer, we have some of the positive ones. Bottom ones is some issues if students fail to complete work on time, or they're in incorrect uniform or late to lesson, missing equipment. But also we want to focus on the positives. So progress made in lessons, reading, realizing, independent learning, hard working to make great effort in the lesson, creative thinking, all these are being collaborative learning, all these are being rewarded for students and collected in all different classes. So we want to thank all students for making a positive start to term 2. A massive shout out to the parents as well, who've been pushing the students to achieve as best they can. Class and individual students will be rewarded the highest Go for School points. Those that make HPL, so high performance learning contributions, will also be awarded. So we see some high performance learning concepts as well in the top boxes there. Every Friday, the students with the most improvements will be awarded along with students of the week. So what's going to be happening in every class on Friday, the form tutor will go through Go for Schools, and it's not just rewarding the best students all the time. We always want a massive push on students making massive improvements. So students before that never received rewards, but we're making a massive effort in lessons. Those students will be rewarded to most improved students. Students will be rewarded with certificates, and later as the year goes on, classes will be rewarded with trips and other prizes as well, just as long as it's COVID compliant. As we look here, we look at because it's been used just by secondary, we look at the positive to negative Go for Schools points. As we can see there, year 7, excellent students there so far, doing really well with nearly 5,000 positive points. That means all the 7 classes have received 5,000 and 140 negative points. Okay, year 8 as well, doing really well with 3,000 and minus 400. Year 11 is a smaller year group. So they have less positive points because there's less of them in the form, and 96 negative points. Same with 9 is a smaller group and 10 smaller group as well. So this is the big push that we want to look for and make sure that all students are contributing in lesson. Parents encourage students, and that parents are aware of how we're recording their positive and negative points. This is something you'll be able to say when you call the teacher and say, how many positive points has my son got, my daughter got? How many negative points? Why did they get negative points? And this is all recorded in the lessons. So you will be able to see this if you call the teacher and want to find out the different areas of how your child is getting on in school. Okay. We look then at the individual forms breaking down. We don't name any students on this. We have that as well, but this is just looking at the classes. So we see some classes there with 7B with 912 and only 6 negative points, which is outstanding. We have a year 9E class with 937 positive points, which is excellent. They have a few more negative points with 93, but we look at the ones with really low negative points as well. So 8D minus 3 negative points, 8D 680 positive points. So really, really good efforts from all the classes there. As you can see in the side, most classes, all of them have been receiving points. Some classes need to just improve, just making more contributions, efforts in the lessons, and they will be rewarded by the teachers. So that's really everything today, guys. We want to make a big push for all parents to focus now on getting the correct uniform for all students and making sure they're in the correct uniform. If they're not, you can email me or the form tutor or head of year just to let them know of any issues. Being on time, being in school every day, it's a must. As per KHDA requirements, all students must attend every lesson, as long as they're not, as we said, sick at the start. So make sure that all your students can, all your kids can attend the lessons every day. They need to be on time in the morning, not later than 7:45. And as we said as well, we want to make a big push on positive school points and making sure you encourage your students to contribute, make a lesson, show leadership skills, show creative thinking skills, show hardworking skills, and make sure that they're rewarded for it. That's everything today. As I said, I'm Mr. Fergal again, assistant head for Key Stage 3, but looking at the pastoral side of the school, okay, from year 7 to year 11. So that's everything, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and take care.